Hey people, I'm going to talk about a few things today in this video. Let me get started with the talking about the channel. Alright, I started this channel as kind of a catch-all for other things that I might want to talk about or go over or show in my life, because my life is about to change, and well, it actually already has, and I've always kind of wanted to get my take on things out there, try to help if I can with people, because the world's in a shitty place, and you know, I like to improve it if I can while I'm here. So the channel is not going to just be a travel channel, never will be. It will have we'll have a lot of travel videos because I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling. But I'm also going to be doing videos like this where I just sit and talk to you about my views on certain things, which today will be one of those videos. Yeah, I will be doing tutorials and instructional videos on things that I figure out how to do when I'm out on my homestead or traveling, or whatever, you know, or just showing you sights that I see. It's going to be just like all over the place, and I'm never going to pay attention to statistics or analytics to increase viewers or subscribers. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you don't, don't. It doesn't matter to me. I want a lot of subscribers, but I don't want you to subscribe unless you are truly entertained or get something out of the videos. So with that said, let me just start with the first thing. I'm going to start with, I'm going to talk about spirituality. I'm going to talk about Donald Trump, Obama, the current political situations and news stories and that sort of thing. And maybe a few other things if I can think of it. But first I'm going to talk about spirituality because it's first and foremost on my mind this morning. I've got a lot of friends from different religious backgrounds, and a lot of Christians. I have Satanist friends, satanic, whatever they want to be called. I've even been called a Satanist before myself, you know. I'm sure a lot of people do who don't fall into the Abrahamic Muslim, Jew, Christian thing, and I don't. I was raised a Christian. I turned away from that rather early in my life. And I've been an atheist for many years. I'm not anymore. I don't consider myself an atheist anymore. To me, religions are pure fantasy, and if you get something out of it, good, keep doing it. If it works for you, and you're not hurting anyone else in the process. Many of the religions throughout the world, notably the monotheistic religions from the Middle East, the ones I've talked about earlier, have it in their dogma to spread their message throughout the world and to turn as many people as possible to their way of thinking. To me, that please forgive my cough. It was getting better, but as soon as I got out of the shower today, I started coughing again. To me, the most important thing in life is freedom. And that means people should be free, even inside your family. I know when I came out as an atheist, I think I was 18 when I came out as an atheist to my mom. I didn't like go to her and say, "Mom, I'm an atheist." It was on a college application. Straight out of high school, I went into college, like many people do, and I never really thought about religion all that much. So I was probably an agnostic or whatever. But anyway, on the college application, the question was first on the application in an official way to me, and I said I decided on my religion. Well, my mom had a hissy fit about it. See, that's wrong. You know, my mom expected me to go in the same way that they did, and many people think that way of their own children and their other family members, and that's wrong. My dearly departed wife, who died about 4 years ago, coming up 4 years this May, grew up Christian just like I did, but hers was more of a forceful sort of upbringing. And so it was harder for her to get away from it. She eventually developed her own belief system, which I'm glad she did, before she died. And Jesus was still part of that. But it wasn't your atypical Christian belief. She prayed to Jesus. It brought her comfort. But she believed in reincarnation and all this other stuff. I don't know about any of that. Ever since she died, I had a spiritual awakening, if you will. And, you know, my belief system, let me go over mine. And I'm going over it. Don't take it as me trying to push my beliefs off on any of you. But the way I see the universe is action. The actions are the thing, you know. The universe, what we see, what we hear, what we feel, is really a byproduct of what is really there. Just like light is really a byproduct of something else. If it wasn't for the sources of light, we wouldn't even see anything. Would not have form to our eyes. And we exist inside of our own heads, you know. We can't really be sure of anything that is outside of our body. All of it's projected on a part of our brain back at the back through these eyes that we have in our heads. So, I believe that action in the journey is the thing that is so divine. And that divinity exists in that. And the ultimate divinity to me is love. And I know that can sound very corny because hate and all that other shit exists. But it comes forth out of love and it ends in love. You know, everything ends with love. If you think about it, it's true. And the reason why these various religions are so wrong is because it's based forth from the ego. Our own egos are projected into this being that you're supposed to worship. When nature exists all around us and is part of us, it, to me, is the divine. So therefore there's no ego in the divine, none. When we die, our ego disappears. What really was us is gone and it never really existed. Your identity only exists inside your mind. It's not real. So, and all of this bleeds into what's going on in the world today. With Donald Trump, with, I've listened to Alex Jones and all of these people, and they always talk about divine providence and this, that, and the other. And don't get me wrong, the Western world, the core tenet of the Western world is freedom. And we need to stick to that. But at the same time, this idea of divine providence, to me, is wrong. Do we have a right to rape the world? The earth? Not necessarily, no. We should take care of the world. We should exist within the world. We're just animals. We're not above anything else. Part of nature. And we should work inside of that parameter. If we worked inside of that parameter, more people in the world would get fed. Perhaps even change their minds about a few things. And on the flip side of that, you have the people who promote globalism. And as much as a lot of people want to deny that that's happening, it is, totally. One day in the distant future, perhaps the world will be ready for that. Today it is not. People are too divided in the world today, and you still have many, many backward beliefs in the world. Notably today is Islam, but I'm not going to beat up on Islam. Islam is just like Christianity and Judaism. They're all backwards. All backwards. Now, I've said before, if Christians believed in their religion the same way a Satanist does, it would be a way better religion. Satanists don't actually worship a devil. They pretend to. They're all atheists. They worship themselves. I have a lot of respect for Satanism. I do. I don't subscribe to that religion myself, though. I'm the most comfortable when I'm out in the woods around trees. I feel a connection there. I feel a connection when I'm alone with my guitar, and I mean alone. It's very rare that I've been in a room with a bunch of guys playing metal that I feel that real spiritual connection. It has happened, but people have got to find their own way to the divine. You'll see it. If you truly love someone, you'll see divinity in that person. It's not that person that you're loving, though. You're seeing what's really there in the world. What it's all really about. For a brief moment, you may not even recognize that you're seeing it, but that's what love really is. That's what I believe. Now, with Donald Trump, I'm not against Donald Trump. I'm not for Donald Trump. I wish him all the best. And I hope he does right. The country can only benefit from a good leader, but the whole process is what is flawed. You know, the whole process is what is flawed. The thought that we need a leader to fix things for us. It's fine that he's there. I'm not saying overthrow the government. I consider myself a true anarchist, not one of these people who... And this pisses me off, and I'm going to go over this right quick. All these motherfuckers who out there marching, who call themselves anarchists, and the media calls them anarchists, they're not anarchists. They're out there marching against Trump, but for Obama and Hillary and all these other people. These guys are not anarchists. If they were anarchists, they'd be out in the woods or on a farm growing crops, providing for them and their family, living off the grid. And I'm going to keep... This is one thing that you're going to have to get used to in my videos. I'm going to be promoting off the grid living. And, you know, I'm going to push it and push it and push it, because the more people who do it, the better the world will be. I really believe that. But as far as Donald Trump is concerned, some of the things he does concerns me. But I'm not going to jump to conclusions. Actions always speak louder than words. And this recent thing that has come up about Obama wiretapping him and being very open about it, and I'm sure it happens a lot in the government, they're all a bunch of egotistical maniacs to me. All of them. To me, it was wrong for him to wiretap Donald Trump. to me. And then Donald Trump calls him out on Twitter. I just saw that today. Big deal. He's a free man. Let him make the most ridiculous tweets in the universe. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't. People should be honest. If people could be more honest in the world and just make fools of themselves without, everybody in their political correct ideas coming up against them. So he makes stupid tweets. I make stupid Facebook posts. I don't really use Twitter all that much, just to share my stuff, but my music. But Twitter, whatever. There's a lot more ridiculous shit on Twitter to talk about. But anyway, back to spirituality. You need to find what brings you joy in life and do that. You may not be able to do it every single day, but try to, because it will make you feel better. There's a lot of things that bring me joy. Like I said, I like playing my guitar. I love that. It brings me joy. Yoga is something I started, a few years ago. When I was diagnosed with diabetes, type 2 diabetes, I needed something to exercise. And for years I worked physical labor, like on a loading dock as a forklift driver. And I got a good workout. I was in very tip-top shape, didn't have any medical problems. When I was in a car wreck, the one that killed my wife, it changed things. I was off my feet, not able to walk for 6 months. I'm still have not gone back to work. I doubt that I ever will. I don't think I should work unless I need to, and I don't need to right now. So, my health I've had to come up with exercise to take care of what work once did. And the more you exercise, the more you find a routine that is good for you, along with a healthy diet. And yoga is something I highly recommend. Maybe not entry level. You have to have a calm mind to go into yoga. Don't go into it right away, especially if you're high strung. I'm not high strung. I'm very laid back. And so yoga was an easy go for me from the jump. And it's not only it's more than just an exercise for your body. It's an exercise for your mind and for your spirit. If you do it right, things will become way more clear to you. And I feel more connected to the universe than I once did. And now there's a lot of people out there who think it's all mumbo jumbo, and I get it. I used to think that too. But it'll make you feel better. And the more laid back, chill people we have in the world, the better the world will be. Have you ever looked at some of these marches, these protests, and thought to yourself, damn, I wish these people would just chill the fuck out? They really should. A lot of them are making mountains out of molehills. Some of them are not, though. Some of them I can get behind. The water people up in the water protests, the water rights protest, or not water rights protests, the pipeline trying to go through the Native American lands. I don't have any issue with that. I understand it's their land. Do I have a problem with pipelines in general? Not necessarily. My dad worked on a pipeline for a big portion of his life, and I've worked on them too. They bring out a lot of jobs, and for the most part, they're very safe. If they're not safe, get on the people and make them safe. March for that. March for safe pipelines. If we ever want to get to a point where we have a one world united under one whatever, then we're going to have to accept modern things like pipelines. We're going to have to accept that to a certain point until they're obsolete. One day they will be obsolete because we'll go to complete solar, but we're not there yet, guys. We have to get there. We have to work to get there. We're not going to get there. The government can't. You cannot expect the government to come in and say, okay, we're going to just start doing it this way, because there's no motivation for them to do that, for them to even work toward that. Everybody's still driving internal combustion engines. I love internal combustion engines. They're still being used. They have not really come out with anything that's going to replace it that's affordable. If they came out with an electric vehicle, the equivalent to my truck, because I'm going to be living out in rough terrain, and many people do. I need, and I haul things. I need a big truck with a lot of power. When they come out with something like that I can afford, then I'll get that. But it's not feasible now. It's not feasible to go to a governmental grid or a national grid system of solar power. It will. But solar should be an individual thing. But you have to do that yourself. You have to do the groundwork. You have to invest in it yourself. This goes back to what I'm saying. Action is the only thing that's really divine. It's the only thing that really matters. Doing. Be your own self-sustaining person and do it yourself. When you do it yourself, it's that saying, be the change you want to make in the world, or something like that. Be the change you want to see in the world. I think that's how it goes. Anyway, that's such a true statement. You need to do that, and you can't just jump up and do it all at once. Just start moving in that direction. Start moving in that direction. You'll feel better, and you'll make a positive change in the world. Anyway, I've yammered on long enough, and my next video, I promise, I will be on the road. My house was supposed to close originally on January 27th, and then February 28th, and now it's March 10th. I don't expect it to go back to be set back any further than that. Once we close on my house, I will be hitting the road toward New Mexico, which is about a 3-day drive, 2 or 3 days, depending on how far I drive each day. And I'm not really going to be in a hurry, and I'm going to be making video of the trip. And I should be stopping to see my daughter on the way, who lives in Texas, and my granddaughter. And once I get out there, I'll be out there for a while, right at a month, I'm assuming. Hopefully I'll get back down this way in time to catch the Amorphous in New Orleans. That's what I'm dreading. Hopefully I don't miss that. I'm going to take a couple of my kids with me. But I'm going to be doing that. Hopefully while I'm out there, I'll do some hiking out in the wilderness and getting some video of that. But and I've done some since then. I've done some video because I live right here where this house is right inside the southern border of the DeSoto National Forest here in Mississippi. And we go up there hiking quite often. And I did some video of me and the kids hiking, and it was just too bouncy. I need to get some video equipment to remedy that, and I don't have that yet, but as soon as I get that, expect more of that. I recorded a lot of video, and a lot of it was really cool. And I was going to set it to music and really do it up nice, but the video is just too choppy. I didn't like it. So I didn't make a video out of that. I dumped all that. I got rid of it. But I will be remedying that, and I'm thinking about even doing some overnight camping in a tent while I'm out there. I'm driving my rig out there. I'm driving my truck and pulling my new RV out there, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be closing on my property out there, which, you know, it's in escrow. It's been in escrow for since last summer. But I'm going to close on that, get the well up and running, the community well with the developer up and running. He's going to get that up and running, and I'm going to get the pipe ran to my property where I'm going to have the water. And I'm going to get a building built, a metal building. And the inside is not going to be finished. It's something I'm going to do. And what that building is going to have, and it's going to be a garage really, but in the back of it I'm going to have a couple of makeshift bedrooms and an office or two. And it's going to be a pretty big, I think it's 40 by 50 or something like that. It'll be big enough to pull my RVs in and all the vehicles that I have, and I'm gonna get that built, just a shell of it built and everything ready to go. That's all I'm gonna be doing over there. But that may take a while. It's gonna take a couple of weeks to build that building in and of itself. It's septic. I'm gonna get the septic dug and all of that in my solar system. I'm going to get it ordered and delivered from Idaho. It's coming from Idaho. I'm going to get that delivered, picked up, and brought out there. I'm going to have to, yeah, because out in the area I live in New Mexico, there's no mail service. You know, they don't do mailboxes in Mexico. It's just kind of spread out like that. A lot of places they don't do mailboxes. So I'll have them P.O. box in town I have to have things sent to. So I'm going to go pick up my solar package for my homestead and get that out there and get that all ran and connected. I might have to get an electrician to connect that. But anyway, that's the stuff I'm going to be taking care of, and I'll have a lot of time, I assume, to do some sightseeing and some traveling and some hiking, and so expect to see that. And I know a lot of people probably, maybe I'll get some subscribers out of that. I had up to 6, now I'm down to 4. It's laughable, but I'm trying to get this channel off the ground. And please, don't forget, I have another channel. I've had it for a while, and I want you, it's just music. Just me playing music and doing things with my music. It's going to have a link down in the description, as well as a link to my latest album. I want you to check that out too. And it's my second full-length album. Anyway, it's really cool. Check it out. And you guys have a good day. Peace.